There you have page 51, etude number 8 for the 7th grade, or 2019 7th grade CODA Euphonium audition etude. This one is certainly going to be a little bit more challenging for us, simply just because we're so often up to this point we're used to slur 2, tongue 2, or slur 3, tongue 1, or tongue everything. Here it's tongue 1, slur 2, tongue 1, or I guess tongue 2. So it's just a slightly different pattern, especially with where the slurs are located. So really make sure that you're counting this out. Whatever counting system you use, make sure you're really counting it out, getting comfortable with where the slurs are, with them coming on the ands or the tays, again, depending on whatever counting system you use. And just really make sure you're staying right with that metronome, have that eighth note subdivision going. Take it slow to start, but again, just really feeling that. Again, it's going to feel a little bit different. It's going to feel a little bit, I don't want to say weird, because that's probably not the best word to use, but it's certainly going to feel a little bit different from what a lot of us are comfortable with when it comes to articulations. You do see a plethora of staccato articulations there. Again, don't necessarily think short, just think light and detached, very, very bouncy, as if you're bouncing a basketball or a tennis ball or a racquetball inside of a not necessarily a stadium, but yeah, just an arena or something like that, where you get that boom, boom, or we get that nice, great resonance that kind of comes through and happens. Excuse me. From there aren't any dynamics written here, so to me what that indicates is you should take this at a dynamic level that you feel comfortable, but it also is giving you the liberty to kind of pick and choose dynamics throughout the phrase. To me, this is really a great way to start to develop your sense of phrasing. So obviously, working on this in the land of mezzo piano, mezzo forte, certainly that's a great way to start. But then as you get more and more comfortable with it, see what you feel, if it makes sense to maybe get a little bit louder in certain spots, or maybe get a little bit softer in another phrase. Again, that's the beauty of music, just being creative and kind of thinking about, well, what makes sense to me? And it may be terrible the first few different ways you do it, and that's fine, but you're going to find that one way that really works. It's like, oh man, that's really, really cool. So, throughout my entire career, both as a student now and as a professional, just, there have been pieces I've worked on that I've tried many, many different interpretations, and many of them were terrible. In hindsight, you listen to them, but again, the nice part about that is it allows you to be creative. It allows you to kind of figure out what works, what doesn't work, and just because an entire phrase may not have been overly successful, there may be a small part of it that did work, and you can incorporate that into your next idea, and then start to build on things from there. So, we often fail a lot in music, and that's what makes us good. We kind of figure out what works and what doesn't, and what doesn't work. We're like, all right, let's make a mental note of that and just never do that again. And then what does work, we try to build on it from there. As always, just make sure you take everything nice and slow and steady, and make sure you got all the fingers down underneath you. Really make sure you're aware of what accidentals happen throughout this etude. We've got a lot of situations, or a lot of measures, where we do a couple measures of E natural, then we go back to E flat, then we go back to E natural. So just make sure you're paying attention to when and where that happens. And as always, thank you for watching, and happy practicing.